Hey guys, how y'all doing today? I'm excited to talk to you guys a little bit today about some entrepreneur tips that I think can help you guys in your thought process and in your mindset. And today I am going to talk to you guys about how top performers, top entrepreneurs, they never let a second go to waste. Totally and completely focused. And I learned this from Brian Tracy. I'm reading his book called Goals. Every human being on the planet is allotted 1,440 minutes every single day. It's how we choose to use them that makes the difference, to be honest with you, right? Unfortunately, right, efficient time management for most people can sometimes be a challenge. It's a challenge to me. And so I'm going to give you just a couple of tips today. I have 14 of them, but I'm going to actually break them up into groups of 7. So I'm going to do this is going to be session number 1. I'm going to give you 7 here, and then I'll come back and give you the second 7 effective time management tips. Okay. So tip number 1 is tackle the most important tasks first. This is called in some terms called eating the frog, right? Start every day by tackling your largest, scariest tasks first. When you do that, everything else is simple. Maybe that's something that you're struggling with. Maybe that's exercise. Maybe that's reading the Bible every day, or praying, or spending time with a spouse, or whatever that may be. Outline a system. Systems are important for prioritizing tasks, called basically like the ABCDE method, right? And in this method, A tasks always come before B tasks, and B's before C, so on and so on, right? By sticking to this method, you can actually ensure that you are always tackling the most important thing first and using your time wisely as much as possible, right? Okay, so number 2 is another way that most people have issues with being able to tackle the tasks first, right? Is making a list, a to-do, so-called to-do list, right? And to-do lists have a way of helping people organize their tasks, right? It also creates what's called a physical embodiment, right, of tasks, right? It reminds you that you need to be done, and providing you these things need to be done, and providing you incentive to start checking items off the list, right? So be sure to use multiple lists to stay organized. In this article that I read by Dr. Tracy, said he wrote an article about 4 types of to-do lists to demonstrate the range of lists that that can be useful for achieving your goals. And so I'm going to do a session on those 4 types. Let's go on to number 3. Divide and conquer. Lisa and I talk about this on a regular basis. If you have a major task to get done, try to divide it up into a bunch of smaller tasks, or you give half tasks to your spouse or your team or people that you work with. This collection of smaller tasks will seem much, much intimidating to you than doing all of them as a whole, okay? So number 4, you have to get started, and then once momentum's going, keep going. If you get off track, get back on track. Once you've divided your large tasks into a bunch of these little smaller tasks, choose the smallest one in the bunch and knock it out, right? Getting started is often the hardest part of accomplishing something. Most people just talk about it, to be honest with you. Once you've got the ball rolling by finishing just one small task, then push forward. gets easier and easier as you create momentum, right? And if you get off track, you get right back on track and you create momentum again. Number 5, start with something that's unpleasant or out of your comfort zone. If you start down the barrel of an especially unpleasant task, to be honest, it's the best way to get it over with and to get it done. Oftentimes, like we're finishing up taxes, right? We've said to each other, these are things that we need to tax more over a longer period of time so that they don't have to be unpleasant when we're doing. It says oftentimes worrying about the most difficult task, to be honest, will take up more energy. Avoid the waste of mental energy by getting your most unpleasant task out of the way first. Number 6, focus on the negative. You're thinking, what? Fear is an excellent motivator, to be honest with you guys. Think about it. If your tasks are important, not completing them is sure to come with some negative consequences. While you don't want to focus on these consequences so much that you allow them to kind of get you worried, a little bit of concern can be great for crushing procrastination. Like going on a trip or having chocolate if you do something really good, right? For my wife, right? Number 7, come prepared. When you set about a task, make sure you come fully prepared with everything you need to complete it. Not only will coming prepared keep you from having to trace back and forth, getting items, being prepared is the greatest motivator in and of itself. Okay, that's number 7. So let's go back over these real quick. This is 7 to 14. We'll do another session with 7 more. The most important task do first. Make a to-do list. Divide and conquer is number 3. 4, keep momentum going. 5, start with the most unpleasant thing first. Focus on the negative. And 7, come prepared. So those are 7 things that we can do on a regular basis to be a top performer and to not waste time. Wasting time can be one of the biggest things that holds us back from having a better business, having a stronger relationship with our spouse and our kids, building a business, whatever it may be. Hope this encouraged you today. In the next session, we will talk about the next 7 ways to not waste time. Thanks for listening.